I'm going to go through this kind of quickly and skip some of this, but I'm just here. I'm with the, I'm Steve Cross. I'm the technical director of the Asphalt Recycling and Reclaiming Association, and I'm also a professor at Oklahoma State University. So ARRA has several industry segments that we cover. Our four main ones are cold planing, hot-in-place recycling, cold recycling, which covers cold in place, and cold central plants, the one that everyone's real interested in right now, and full depth reclamation. We also do a little soil stabilization work because it's kind of the same equipment that a lot of the guys that do the FDR work do. But those are our four main industry segments that we represent. Where we fall on the pavement management curve, we're a little bit further down the line than the pavement preservation. So Pat talked to you about hot in place. If your pavement's deteriorated a little bit further down the curve, you're probably getting into that cold in place recycling. And if you didn't do a real good job of pavement preservation and you've got a few roads that are at the end of your life, full depth reclamation is a great process to get that material that's there still has value and to reuse that. Where do we fall in the pavement preservation category? Well, this is kind of a thing we got from the FHWA and then kind of added our techniques. And so you can see that hot in place and cold recycling fall under pavement preservation. Excuse me. So you can use your pavement preservation funds for these. Unfortunately, FDR's getting into structural overlay and major and reconstruction, et cetera, and doesn't typically fall under the pavement preservation curve. But our hot in place and cold recycling do. Why might you want to do these? Well, we see reported cost savings. That's probably closer to 10 to 50% cost savings. And it depends upon a lot of things, and it depends on what you compare it to. But compared to your conventional maintenance and rehabilitation techniques, and depending on your market, you can see some substantial cost savings on some of these. The other thing is these processes are quite environmentally friendly. And realize that no one's going to pick a process just because of that, but we're going to reuse 100% of the existing materials in place, generally have reduced binder consumption rates because of this. With some of this stuff you can get some incredibly reduced trucking cost, especially if you're working in an urban area. That can be really important. And we've seen several studies coming out. Maryland just did a real good one on looking at comparing hot mix with cold in place and cold central plant recycling, but reduction in greenhouse gases of 30 to 80% is pretty common depending upon which process you might be using. But what I really wanted to talk to you guys about, just a little bit of background, is some of the stuff we've done at ARRA to try to educate the public. One of the biggest things we hear about our processes is we don't know a lot about it, there's not a lot of contractors, etc. I guess I will say Montana brought up the thing about the contractors. If you build it, we'll come. If you build a lot of them, we'll stay. So keep that in mind. But we put out the basic asphalt recycling manual in 2001. It's been around for a long time, 14 years. It's actually been published in Chinese and in Spanish. But lots happened in the last 10 or 15 years. There's been a lot of improvements in materials, equipment, test method. So we decided a couple of years ago it was a time to rewrite this thing. So it just came out recently. It was completely rewritten. It's all color photos, 117 photos divided into 6 different parts covering our major things. Got a couple of chapters on cold planing that we talk about just construction and specifications. And then with hot in place, cold recycling, and FDR, we have 4 chapters each where we cover detailed project analysis, mixed design, construction, project specifications, and inspections. So there's a lot of questions we had on hot in place recycling, and I guess I'm gonna give you a plug. You could have answered every one of those by looking in the BARM, okay? What they did in Denver was the repave method, and the thing about that is they put a integral asphalt overlay on it at the same time they're doing the hot in place, so they're compacted as one material. But there's also a remix process where they might add a little new material, and there's simple the old surface recycling that's been around for a while. But again, we'll give the plug. If you guys have questions on that, come by and take a look at the BARM. We cover cold in place using the single unit train, multi-unit train, cold central plant. I get one of the big kicks out of cold central plant is most of the cold central plant is done by simply parking the train in a stationary spot and running it through that away. But we go into that. We cover full depth reclamation, simple pulverization or mechanical, bituminous, and cementitious is by far the most popular method for FDR. So how can you get one? The easiest way to get one is to see an ARRA member, okay? And it's also available under our website for purchase, but it'll cost you about $90 if you get one there. So today and today only, if you will come by and see me, I will make you a deal. All right? I do not have a set of Ginsu knives to throw in there, but I can probably give you some specifications as well. So come talk to me. We'll see if we can't get you one. We want you to have one of these. Now that's not all we were doing. I wrote part of the first BARM in 2001, and I spent the last 2 years working on the second one, and I don't want to do another one. So the way we decided to try to keep this current is we put out a set of best practice guidelines that we can amend these. The BARM is kind of general topics. These are specific. So for each one of our disciplines, we have best practice for construction, mixed design, QC, QA, and we're working on the project selection guide. So I'm going to chide a couple of people, but I brought some of these and set them out as a demo. The reason I set them out as a demo, we just had our big meeting last week, and we revised all of these. So somebody grabbed a couple of them. Please come back, give me your name and email, and in about 2 weeks, I'll be able to send you the revised version. That's why I didn't bring out a bunch of extra copies to come out. These are all undergoing revision. So if you're interested in these, I got a few of the copies there. I can show them to you, but I would like to get them to you. I want to get you the new revised versions. So come by and see me. You can also, in a couple of weeks, be able to download the revised ones off the web page. So if you go to our web page at arra.org, go to resources, down toward the bottom, there's a thing on guidelines. You can click on that, and you can download our PDF of our guidelines, or give me a holler and I'll send them to you. Either way. A couple other things that are out there for training and stuff. We have developed 3 classes for TC3. The cold in place recycling has been on the web page for over a year. I just finished the final draft of the hot in place recycling, and it should be available soon. And they just sent me the FDR one to do the first review of the draft for that one. So I'm expecting the first of next year those will be out there. They're on the TCC website. Again, so coming up. As far as some additional stuff, there is an NHI course that FHWA put together on in-place recycling. It's 2 brief web-based training modules and then a 2-day classroom instruction. Anybody can host one of these. I've got a flyer at my desk if you want some more information on this. And this is a new one that ARRA's decided to do. We've tried to put on workshops. People can't travel, they don't have funds. So we decided that if you're interested and want to learn more, we will come to you. We'll come to your agency. We'll come to LTAP center, whatever. You just let us know. And we are developing 1-day classes on cold milling and hot in place, cold in place, and FDR. We envision these as 1-day workshops. We'll cover whatever you want. We can do 1 of them, we can do 2 of them, we can give you all 4 of them. But if you'll get with me or Jason Dietz, we'll be glad to talk to you about getting this set up. Larry is working on a cold milling class for us. So these things are out there. We're trying to get these set up and realize with travel budgets, probably going to be a whole lot easier for us to come to you than the other way around. Current research, they asked real quick. There's, if you're going to TRB on Sunday, there's 2 workshops, one on full depth reclamation, one on cold in place recycling. The 9-51 NCHRP study that's done by Maryland and Brian Diefendorfer with Virginia DOT is doing a lot of work. Some very interesting results coming out on this on FDR and CIR. And we've had the couple of test sections down at NCAT. And Virginia put some of this on I-81, a heavily trafficked pavement's working really well. So some things you can find. They asked for needed research. What can you guys do to help us? We really need to document the performance of this. There's just a lot of scattered performance data out there on how well this works, and we could really use that. We continually hear about field tests to determine adequate initial curing and better quality control and testing protocols. The kicker on that one, though, is this is a time-dependent material. a lot of times, and that causes some issues. So, I went as fast as an old boy from Texas can go. If you have any questions, I don't want to get into the break too long.
No, it's okay.
I'm back over there with the little booth, or that's my contact information. Stop by, and like I said, the guidelines, you can download them off the web, but I'd kind of hope you'd wait a couple of weeks till we get those updated, and I'd be glad to get them to you. So, thanks for your time.
Any questions?
Everybody wants to take a break.
I get over to the booth as fast as I can.
All right, thank you.